so good. I don't know how it slipped my mind, but the last time I did a book vlog was back in the winter time. I did a holiday one and it was so much fun. Now here we are in May and I was like, you know what? Let's do a summer book vlog. So super excited. We are going to go to Barnes & Noble pretty soon. But first, I wanted to go over my TBR for the summertime. There have been so many new books that have come out recently. It is crazy. I couldn't even like keep track of all of them, but I just wrote down a couple on my phone. So this is totally random, but I just got my nails done, so I thought I would show you. I just got some classic French tip nails. If you never know what to get at the nail salon and you're just like super indecisive with colors, just get a traditional French tip. It is so classy. It's very much giving clean girl aesthetic. So that is what I got. I have 5 books that I have been eyeing for the summertime. First one is The Last Sunrise by Anna Todd. I have never read any books by this author, but the thing that literally drew me to this book was the cover. It is stunning and I am a sucker for beautiful book covers. I probably will read it if it's very aesthetically pleasing on the outside, so that's kind of what got to me. But this one definitely gives kind of a grumpy sunshine, traveling summer read, and I love those kinds of books. So I am going to be looking for that one. We also have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This one also seems like a really good one. And then this one I've actually been wanting to read, but I never picked it up, and it is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. And I read her book Love and Other Words, and it was a beautiful, emotional romance story, and I just fell in love with the characters, and the storyline was just so good. I love how with her style she goes back and forth between the two characters, and she kind of goes in like the beginning of time in the beginning of their story and then catches you up to the current situation, if that makes sense. But this was such a beautiful book, and I was like, you know what, she is one of my favorite authors, so I want to look for The Paradise Problem as well. And another author that I love, I would have to say she's one of my favorite authors, is Abby Jimenez. She came out with a book called Say You'll Remember Me, and the cover, again, it's beautiful. I have loved every single book she has written so far, and it's just, I love her. So we will be looking for that one. And the last book is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I want to see that one as well. So that is my May TBR. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be like a bunch of other books at Barnes & Noble. Okay, I wanted to show you guys a quick little outfit check, although it's nothing special. I have this green top from H&M. It's just like a ribbed light green top, and then these jeans are Abercrombie. I love Abercrombie jeans. I cannot rave about them enough. They are worth your coin, trust me. But these ones are the mid-rise curvy jeans. I think it's like the 90s fit or something, which has like a little rip in it. My shoes are New Balances. I think these are the 530s, and they have like this little green and pink contrast. I just paired it with this purse. This is a Lululemon purse, little crossbody. I thought the little green and the pink contrast would kind of go with everything. Now let's do some book shopping. Okay, so far I've had a lot of luck. I found pretty much every single book that was on my TBR, so that is rare because usually I never find anything. But yeah, so far I picked up The Last Sunrise by Anna Todd, so the Abby Jimenez one, and then I really don't need any more bookmarks, but I saw these and they were so cute for the summertime. There's this like little cake one, and then there's also this one with coffees. Literally the cutest thing ever. Okay, it is now 10:08 p.m. so it's a little bit later in the evening, but after Barnes & Noble I went to Trader Joe's to pick up some groceries, and then I went back home. We made a delicious dinner. I made some garlic butter noodles with some grilled chicken breast, and it was so good. But anyways, now we're here. Of course, I wanted to show you the little haul of everything I got from Barnes & Noble. There were so many summer reads out. I was kind of amazed. Like, there are so many different kinds, from cowboy, country theme romance. There were everything you can possibly imagine. It's out there already at Barnes & Noble. So if you are like wanting to get into your summer reads, now is the perfect time. Let's start with the first book. The first one I got is this one, and this one was on my May TBR. This one is The Last Sunrise by Anna Todd. And just look how beautiful the cover is. It's so pretty with the beach and the sunset, looking out at the vibrant waters of Mallorca, a whole summer on the island ahead of her. 22-year-old Rai Para feels like her life is finally beginning. Sure, she'll have to spend the season under the watchful eye of her overprotective mother, but she's determined to return home with some good stories. In her first small act of rebellion, she heads off to the beach alone and meets the infuriatingly charming local who can't stand tourists like Rai. Julian knows all the shortcuts and local haunts, making Rai feel even more naive and inexperienced than she normally does. But as he reluctantly invites her into this world, she can't tamp down her growing attraction. As the weeks continue, Julian pulls Rai out of her shell and into adventures she's always craved. But the secret Rai's keeping from him, and her eventual return to America, cast a long shadow. Before the last sunrise ends, Rai must decide if she's brave enough to finally follow her heart and live for herself. Okay, this seems like a really good book. I've actually never read anything from this author before, but I like the story plot of like she's visiting, he's a local, and it's kind of like a grumpy sunshine situation. And I'm also just curious, like, what is her secret and how is their experience together, because they are like from two totally different worlds. So this seems like a perfect summer read, and I'm super excited for this one. Other books that I got were on this buy one get one 50% off deal at the front of the table, and there were a whole bunch of summer books there, so that was definitely a good deal. And luckily I found two that I really liked and that intrigued me. First one is this one, and this one was also on my TBR, and I think this is the one I'm most excited to read because just look at how beautiful the cover is. The colors are just stunning. This one is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I'm very excited to read this one. So this one goes, good things happen at the lake. That's why Alice's grandmother says, and it's true. Alice just spent one summer there at the cottage with Nan when she was 17. It's where she took that photo, the one of 3 grinning teenagers in a yellow speedboat, the image that changed her life. Now Alice lives behind a lens. As a photographer, she's most comfortable on the sidelines, letting other people shine. Lately though, she's been itching for something more, and when Nan falls and breaks her hip, Alice comes up with a plan for them both. Another summer in that magical place, Barry's Bay. As soon as they settle in, their peace is disrupted by the roar of a familiar yellow boat and the man driving it. Charlie Florek was 19 when Alice took his photo from afar, but now he's all grown up, a shameless flirt who manages to make Nan laugh, and Alice longed to be 17 again, when life was simpler, when taking pictures was just for fun. Sun-slanted days and warm nights out on the lake with Charlie are a balm for Alice's soul, but when she looks up and sees his piercing green glaze directly on her, she begins to worry for her heart. Because Alice sees people, that's why she is so good at what she does, but she's never met someone who looks and sees her right back. I'm sorry, what? Like, that seems like such a good story. I already know, like, just reading that I'm gonna be so intrigued. I love that she's a young girl with her grandma. I also love the whole thing with her being a photographer and always being behind the lens, and then all of a sudden there's this situation, this romance type of thing, and we have no idea what will go on between them, but it just seems so good. And this is just screaming summer. So I am so excited to read this one as well. Last but definitely not least, I got this book called Expiration Dates by Rebecca Serle, I believe. Serle. Again, the cover is absolutely beautiful. This one was actually not on my TBR, and I've never really seen this one before. but this one sounds really interesting. So this one goes, Daphne Bell believes the universe has a plan for her. Each time she meets a new man, she receives a slip of paper with his name and number on it, the exact amount of time they will be together. The papers told her she'd spend 3 days with Martin in Paris, 5 weeks with Noah in San Francisco, and 3 months with Hugo, her ex-boyfriend turned best friend. Daphne has been receiving the numbered papers for more than 20 years, always wondering when there might be the one without an expiration. Finally, on the night of a blind date, there's only a name, Jake. But as Jake and Daphne's story unfolds, Daphne finds herself doubting the paper's prediction and wrestling with what it means to be both committed and truthful. Because Daphne knows things Jake doesn't, information that, if he found out, would break his heart. Expiration Dates is a gripping, thought-provoking, and deeply felt novel about what it means to be single, what it means to find love, and ultimately how we defined happiness for ourselves. And lastly, this is super random, but I ended up getting a bookmark. They had the cutest bookmarks right now for the spring and the summertime. I like this bookmark is very fitting for the summertime. How it has this little charm, and then it has this little lemon, this pink tassel, and this little teacup. Very girly, very cute. So that is everything that I got from Barnes & Noble. I definitely want to start reading a book tonight, and I was debating on which one to read. I think I'm gonna end up starting with this one, Expiration Dates. This one seems very heavily summer vibes, so if I can get through this one in May, and then I'll go through these. This is the most random thing ever, but I made some frozen grapes because I saw this all over TikTok, and I'm very late to the trend. I've never had them frozen before, so let's try them. These are actually really good. The texture's interesting. It has this like crunch to it, but also I didn't really add anything on top. I know people add like sugar or like sour, sweet and sour sugar, I think, or something like that, but I kind of like them by themselves.